Overthinking is like a quiet storm that clouds your mind and robs you of your peace. It's all too easy to get trapped in a whirlwind of thoughts, dwelling on what's already past, worrying about what's yet to come, or endlessly dissecting the present moment. If you're feeling overwhelmed, lost in a maze of mental chaos, and longing for a sense of inner calm, you're not alone. Buddhism offers ancient wisdom that can help us quiet the noise of the mind. In this video, we will explore 6 powerful Buddhist teachings that can guide you toward a peaceful, clear, and balanced state of mind. Let's begin this journey together and discover the tranquility that's waiting for us. Number 1. Focus on the present moment. How often do we find ourselves caught in the cycle of expectation? We're either looking back at how things could have been, consumed by disappointment, or looking ahead, filled with uncertainty about what's to come. We worry about the future, how we'll manage challenges or what might go wrong. Yet the truth is, the past is already behind us, and the future remains unknown. The Buddha's teachings gently guide us to live in the here and now. He reminds us, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. This powerful teaching asks us to let go of both past regrets and future worries, and instead fully embrace the present moment, the only time we truly have. Right now, as you read these words or listen to this message, you are in the present. This moment is the only place life truly unfolds. If you allow yourself to let go of the grip of the past and future, you'll start to feel a deep sense of peace and clarity. Overthinking begins to fade when we allow ourselves to just be, fully present with what's right in front of us. There's a story of a Buddhist monk who was walking along a river with his young disciple. The monk crossed calmly, but his disciple, worried and filled with fear, hesitated. He wondered about the dangers of the rushing water and whether he would be swept away. The monk, noticing the hesitation, said, "Don't worry, my friend. The river always flows, but the only way to cross is by being fully present and trusting the moment." This story beautifully illustrates the point that when we get lost in our thoughts about past mistakes or future fears, we prevent ourselves from truly living in the present. The only way to navigate life with peace is to trust the flow of the moment, letting go of the weight of expectations. Remember, life moves, and we must move with it, right here, right now. Number 2. Stop fighting what you can't control. The more we think, the more we suffer. We constantly replay scenarios in our minds, worry about what might happen, and hold on tightly to things we cannot control. But the truth is, all this overthinking only brings more stress, more anxiety, and more pain. The Buddha once said, "Suffering is not caused by external events, but by our attachment to them." In other words, it's not what happens to us that creates suffering, but how we choose to react to it. When we become trapped in our thoughts, obsessing over the things we cannot change, we invite unnecessary pain into our lives. So, how do we stop this cycle? The first step is to let go of the illusion of control. We cannot control everything around us, and trying to do so only tightens the grip of suffering. Learn to accept what is. By surrendering our need to control, we free ourselves from the endless loop of worry and fear. Take a moment to ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, then let it go. Release the need to hold on to it, and watch as your mind begins to find peace. A wise monk once told a story about a person pushing a heavy boulder uphill. No matter how hard the person tried, the boulder wouldn't budge. Exhausted, the person complained, but the monk simply asked, "Why are you pushing something that won't move? Let go, and the path will become clear." This story teaches us that overthinking and fighting against the reality of our circumstances only drain our energy. Sometimes, the most powerful action is not to push harder, but to let go completely. Remember, the act of letting go is not weakness. It is strength. It is freedom. Free your mind from the chains of overthinking, and you will find the peace that has always been waiting for you. Number 3. Simplicity is the key to happiness and peace. In the modern world, it's easy to get lost in the chaos. Our lives are filled with distractions, endless obligations, and a constant barrage of expectations. We worry about everything: our work, our relationships, our appearance, and what the future holds. We become overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of life, as if each new worry is another weight that we carry on our shoulders. But Buddhism teaches us a powerful truth. Simplicity is the key to happiness and peace. It's not about chasing after some ideal or striving for something more. It's about shedding what no longer serves us and returning to the essence of what truly matters. The Buddha often spoke of the importance of simplicity, not just in our actions but in our thoughts as well. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha shares a profound insight. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. This means that happiness isn't something you need to chase, something to pursue endlessly through more material possessions or external achievements. Happiness is found in the simplicity of each moment, in the quiet and peace that arise when we stop overcomplicating life with endless worries. When we simplify our lives, we release the heavy burden of unnecessary stress and anxiety. We stop overthinking and return to the present moment, where everything we need is already here. Imagine the freedom that comes from not constantly chasing after something more, not always worried about what might go wrong or how things could be better. In this freedom, we find peace. The Zen monks live by a principle known as shibumi, which refers to the beauty and elegance of simplicity. It's the understanding that life's most profound truths are often hidden in the simplest of moments. One Zen master once said, "The simpler the life, the more profound the meaning." This simple philosophy is deeply embedded in the Zen way of life. By reducing mental clutter, eliminating distractions, and focusing on what truly matters, we can experience a deeper, more meaningful existence. When you clear away the noise and distractions, you open yourself up to a world of clarity. You find that life doesn't need to be so complicated. Every action, every breath, every moment becomes more meaningful when you stop overloading your mind with unnecessary thoughts and worries. Think about it. How much of the mental clutter in your life is truly necessary? How much of the stress you feel is self-created by focusing on things outside of your control? We tend to create complexity by worrying about the past or fearing the future, but the truth is, neither the past nor the future exists in this moment. Right now, in the present, you have the freedom to choose simplicity, to let go of the excess mental baggage and focus only on what truly brings you peace. By simplifying your life, you begin to feel lighter, more grounded, and more connected to the world around you. You realize that happiness doesn't require a complicated plan or a constant striving. It's found in the small, everyday moments. A quiet morning, a simple conversation, the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of the wind in the trees. These moments, when fully embraced, are more fulfilling than any material pursuit. In the stillness of simplicity, you can hear the whispers of your true self. When you stop complicating life with unnecessary worries and distractions, you make room for your heart and mind to align. This is where true freedom lies, not in having more, but in needing less. It's not about eliminating all of life's challenges, but about changing the way you relate to them. So, as you move through your day, ask yourself, what can I simplify? What unnecessary burdens am I carrying? What can I let go of to find more peace? By doing so, you'll discover that life becomes clearer, more peaceful, and infinitely more meaningful. Number 4, your thoughts come and go, and they don't define you. How many times have we felt completely overwhelmed by our thoughts, as if they're drowning us in a sea of confusion and doubt? We all know the feeling. Our minds become cluttered, like a stormy sky filled with dark, swirling clouds that seem to never end. Each thought, whether it's from the past, present, or future, adds to the chaos until we can barely hear ourselves think. It feels as though we're stuck in a mental fog, unable to escape. But the Buddha offers us a profound way to navigate this mental storm. He teaches us to view our thoughts as clouds in the sky, impermanent, fleeting, and constantly changing. Like clouds that pass by in the blink of an eye, our thoughts come and go, and they don't define us. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness observing them. He once said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." This is a powerful reminder that the way we perceive and engage with our thoughts shapes our reality. The challenge lies in not attaching ourselves to every thought that arises. We don't need to identify with them or let them take control of our minds. Just like the clouds above, our thoughts are temporary visitors in the vast sky of our mind. They may appear, but they don't stay forever. When we stop clinging to our thoughts, we begin to free ourselves from their hold. Imagine sitting by a calm river, watching the water flow smoothly past you. As you observe, you notice leaves drifting down the stream, moving gently along with the current. Do you reach out to grab each leaf, trying to control it? No. You allow them to float by, knowing that more leaves will come, and the river will continue to flow, unhurried and unchanged. Similarly, we can learn to let our thoughts come and go, without clinging to them. When a thought arises, whether it's a worry, a regret, or a fleeting idea, we can simply acknowledge it and then let it pass without grabbing hold of it. The more we practice this, the easier it becomes to release our thoughts, and over time, we find that the storm of overthinking naturally begins to calm. Buddha's teachings invite us to shift our perspective on our thoughts. He said, "Our life is shaped by our mind, for we become what we think." This profound statement reminds us that the quality of our thoughts directly influences the quality of our lives. When we allow negative, restless, or overactive thoughts to pass without clinging to them, we create space for clarity and peace to emerge. By letting go of our attachment to thoughts, we're not trying to suppress them or push them away. We are simply allowing them to flow like the leaves on the river, knowing that they will pass. With this shift in mindset, we start to experience more inner calm, less mental clutter, and a greater sense of freedom. In the same way that clouds appear in the sky and then disappear, our thoughts will continue to arise and fade. But when we stop trying to control them or attach meaning to them, we find ourselves in a state of peaceful presence, free from the weight of overthinking. As you go through your day, remember that your thoughts are like passing clouds. They are not permanent. They do not define who you are. Let them come, let them go, and in doing so, you will begin to experience life with greater clarity, peace, and ease. Number 5. Practice mindfulness. Anchor yourself in your breath. In a world that moves faster every day, our minds can often feel like they're racing, overwhelmed with thoughts, worries, and distractions. The mind jumps from one thought to the next, creating an endless cycle of overthinking and stress. But there's a simple yet profound practice that can help us break this cycle and find peace: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present, paying attention to the moment without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without getting swept away by them. It's not about controlling or forcing the mind to be quiet, but rather allowing ourselves to be aware of what's happening right now, without attachment, without trying to change it. One of the most effective ways to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breath. When you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, or when your thoughts start spiraling, simply return to your breath. Take a deep breath in, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly. Each breath is an anchor, drawing you back into the present moment. The Buddha said, "When the mind is calm, the breath is calm." This beautiful teaching reminds us of the deep connection between our mind and our breath. When we consciously focus on the rhythm of our breath, we can calm the storm within our minds. The breath becomes a gentle anchor, stopping the cycle of overthinking and returning us to a place of stillness. Think about it. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Our thoughts shape our reality. When we are constantly consumed by chaotic, uncontrollable thoughts, we lose our peace and our clarity. But when we practice mindfulness and focus on our breath, we train our mind to be calm and focused, free from the grip of overthinking. It's like a river. Imagine that your thoughts are like leaves floating on the water, constantly drifting by. If you try to grab every leaf, the water only becomes more turbulent. But if you simply let them flow by without attachment, the river remains peaceful, and so does your mind. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you train your mind to return to the present moment, to anchor itself in the peace that is always available to us. With each mindful breath, you regain control over your thoughts, and you begin to experience the freedom of living fully in the here and now. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, anchor yourself in your breath. Let each inhale and exhale guide you back to the present moment. By practicing mindfulness, you will gradually find that overthinking loses its power over you, and a sense of calm and clarity begins to fill your mind. Number 6. Trust in impermanence. Your struggles will pass. Nothing in life lasts forever, and that includes your struggles. The Buddhist teaching of impermanence reminds us that everything, both good and bad, is always in a state of change. This means that even your fears, anxieties, and the overwhelming thoughts you may be experiencing right now are not permanent. They too will pass. The Buddha said, "All conditioned things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence." This profound wisdom teaches us that everything is in constant flux and nothing is ever fixed. When we grasp this truth, we can begin to free ourselves from the grip of overthinking. Overthinking often arises from the fear that things will never change, that we are stuck in a never-ending cycle of worry. But when we recognize that everything, even our struggles, is temporary, we can let go of that fear and find peace in the knowledge that things will shift. Nothing is permanent. All things are subject to change. This understanding helps us to let go of the belief that our challenges will last forever, and in doing so, we release the burden of overthinking. Now that you've learned these key teachings, it's time to take action. Embrace the present moment. Let go of unnecessary thoughts that keep you trapped in the past or future. Simplify your life and remember, nothing lasts forever, not even your struggles. Trust in impermanence. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool. With patience and practice, you can train it to focus, calm down, and find true peace.